12 years ago, LeBron won the first of his 4 titles. It was quite the year. He also won MVP. He won Finals MVP. He won an Olympic gold medal in 2012. 1992, Jordan's the only other player to win all 4 in the same year. LeBron has a chance to win one of those this year in the Olympics. Zach, we don't know exactly, though, how much longer LeBron James is going to play, but since it's the anniversary of his first, and it's June, why not ask the question? Do you think he wins another title before calling it a career?
Why you got to do this to me on a Friday? Why? Okay, fine. I will go no, unlikely, especially if he stays with the Lakers.
I thought we had a good move,
The competition's just too tough.
All right,
sorry,
Perk.
LeBron.
I'm going the other direction. Look, to be honest with you, let's be real. The only team that has given the Lakers problems is the Denver Nuggets. If they could avoid seeing them in the postseason and get lucky and maybe the standings and they get into the postseason in favor that they don't have to see the Denver Nuggets, the Lakers could be any other team in the Western Conference. I think they're going to improve their roster, but I mean, I know that's high expectations on J.J. Redick to say he's a rookie coach, but Steve Kerr got it done.
I mean,
you do have LeBron James and Anthony Davis.
How many ifs did he put in that? He said, if this happened and if that also happened, plus if this happened.
I mean, I'm trying to, Malik, I'm trying to be like shine some sun on the show.
You know what? You are always our sunshine here, Kendrick Perkins. What about you, Bobby?
You know what? I'll give concrete in. There would be no ifs here. I think he will win another title. I don't think it will be with the Los Angeles Lakers.
Elaborate, please.
I think if you're LeBron James, you sign a 2-year contract with a player option and become a free agent next season and navigate again and find that team that you can win a championship with, because it's not going to be the Lakers.
Okay, Zach, what do you think of that?
Look, I think if he's going to win another title, I think it's likely to be that path, one way or another, with a different team. Probably. Well, that's all I'll say. But I don't know. I think he wants to stay in L.A., so I'm sticking with no. I'm sticking with pessimistic no.
Sticking with grumpy Zach to finish out our show. What about you, Perk?
Yeah. I like that from Bobby. I mean, because at the end of the day, I feel like what this season, what AD and Bron and J.J. Redick do collectively in this season is going to determine the future of LeBron James and Anthony Davis anyway. That's just my honest opinion.
Okay, so now that we have played in this fantasy world of the future, shall we say, let's bring it back to reality and bring it back to this season, because another big number for LeBron James is 10. 10 will be the number of coaches that he will have heading into next season. So, Bobby, do you think that J.J. Redick will be LeBron James' last coach here?
Well, it's a 2-part answer, right? So if I stuck with it, winning a championship somewhere else, then I would say no. This will not. LeBron will have a different coach as far as what the future will be, and this will not be his last coach as far as J.J. Redick.
It's so unique to be watching a star player and their next head coach sharing a glass of wine over a podcast. If that doesn't scream 2024, I don't know what does. So yes, it is the offseason, but we had some major moves go down yesterday. So let's go coast to coast to check in on what's going on around the association. The Thunder, they sent Josh Giddey to the Bulls for all defensive guard Alex Caruso. Starting with the OKC side of this, Zach, what does Caruso add for the Thunder?
Oh boy, be very afraid. Be very, very afraid. Shooting, defense, the amount of steals this team is going to get is going to be ridiculous. You have to guard him. He rounds out an already great team.
Yeah, the deflections that he is going to get, insane. All right, so let's go to the Bulls end of this trade. Alex Caruso has been a target for a while. So why did they make this move now, Bobby?
Well, we've been waiting 2 years for Lonzo Ball to come back. Now it gives them a 6'7" guard, playmaker. Now the big question is what's next? Right? Are they going to take a step back and rebuild? Zach LaVine, DeMar DeRozan's a free agent here. That's going to be the big question for Chicago this offseason.
So this kind of flew under the radar, but this is huge. The Sacramento Kings have locked up Malik Monk with a 4-year, $78 million deal. Monk finished second in Sixth Man of the Year voting. Remember, Perk, were you surprised he didn't enter or test at least free agency?
Hell no. I mean, think about it, right? When you pair him along De'Aaron Fox, especially in the fourth quarter, Malika, they're one of the most electric backcourts in the NBA.
Yep.
It was times where he was actually bringing them home, and he feel like it's home. Malik Monk has had his journey. At the end of the day, it feels like a family. Great move by the Sacramento Kings, and great move by Malik Monk to stay put.
He's an energizer whenever he comes in. He might have had one of the early dunks of the year last season as well. It's kind of crazy that it's early. Free agency doesn't start for another 9 days, but we've already seen these significant moves. So, Zach, what do you think's been the biggest move of the offseason so far, even though we're not even officially in it yet?
I think you got to look at Caruso to the Thunder. This was the #1 seed last year, and yet we saw in the playoffs teams did not guard Josh Giddey. They put their centers on Josh Giddey and clogged up the lane. They might try that with Alex Caruso, but he very quietly shot 41% on threes last year and took a lot more of them than before. We know what he is defensively. He's a monster, and you put him with Dort and SGA and Jalen Williams and Chet Holmgren. They could be the #1 or 2 defense in the NBA next year. They're going to be better offensively.
Yep.
It's a better fit. It's the first big aggressive win-now move that Sam Presti has made really since putting this team together. They're going to be fearsome next year and have a shot to go deeper into the playoffs.
You know what Alex Caruso is? He's a champion. He's a champion. He's bringing championship experience to a young, good ball club, a great ball club. So he's going to be a leader defensively. We saw what happened to them this past postseason in the playoffs when they went up against the Mavs. Right, he's going to take that pressure off the perimeter to defend guys like Luka and Kyrie, because perimeter defense is a must, especially when you're talking about in the Western Conference, when you got to go against the likes of Steph Curry, Ja Morant, Anthony Edwards, Luka, Kyrie, Jamal Murray. Like, you need as much perimeter defense as you possibly could get.
Right.
That's what Alex Caruso is going to bring, along with his tenacity and championship mindset.
But we haven't seen, we kind of were wondering, okay, were the Oklahoma City Thunder going to make a move last year? They were the #1 seed, and Sam Presti and their front office brass said, you know what, we're going to let this bake. We're going to see what we have before we start messing with anything here. So do you think that they're done? Do you think we could see more moves for OKC?
I don't think they're done, and I think, they went into the series, the year as the #1 seed. They used it kind of an experiment as far as figuring out what works.
What an experiment to be able to make,
to be
right?
the #1 seed and lose in the second round and be like, okay, this is kind of what we need to do. And I think they realized they had 2 ball handlers in Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and Jalen Williams. Josh Giddey did not fit. Okay, he goes out. Alex Caruso comes in. The big thing is no draft picks went out. They still got the kitty of 15 first-round picks. The big $31 million in cap space. They do not go out and sign free agents. That is not their MO. They go out and build through the draft and trade for players. So now will they go out and spend that money in free agency? You got to spend 90% of it.
Well, and spend picks.
Yes, you've got to spend it. So for me, real quick, I'd go out and get Nick Claxton. I'd go out and put a 2-year offer down of like $60 million. And that's my center next to Chet Holmgren.
Interesting, because what have we talked about? The need for another big here for Oklahoma City.